U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken is in Israel with plans to discuss truce and increased flow of aid into Gaza. Now, Blinken is expected to meet Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu today. And earlier, Blinken said that Israel is planning on opening a major humanitarian aid crossing into hard-hit northern Gaza. And Blinken saw off a first Jordanian truck convoy of aid heading to Gaza through the area's crossing reopened by Israel. He added that he will press Netanyahu on Gaza aid measures and ceasefire talks.
The Israelis have put a strong proposal on the table. They've demonstrated that they're willing to compromise. And now it's on Hamas. And no more delays, no more excuses. The time to act is now.
However, hours before he landed in Israel, Prime Minister Netanyahu vowed to launch a ground offensive into Gaza's southernmost town of Rafah, and that too with or without a deal to halt the fighting and release Israeli hostages.
No ICC action will impact Israel's ironclad determination to achieve the goals of our war with Hamas terrorists. We will destroy Hamas's military and governing capabilities in Gaza. We will release all our hostages, and we will ensure that Gaza never poses a threat to Israel again.
Netanyahu is facing pressure from far-right allies to reject a new Gaza ceasefire.
If you decide to raise a white flag and cancel the order to occupy Rafah immediately in order to complete the task of destroying Hamas and to restore security to the residents of the South and to the citizens of Israel and to return all our abducted brothers and sisters to their home, the government headed by you will have no right to exist.
Rafah is the main entry point for getting desperately needed aid into Gaza. And this is where the United Nations says 100% of the population is at severe levels of food insecurity. More than 1 million Palestinian civilians have been driven into Rafah, with many living in sprawling tent camps. Israel says Rafah is Hamas' last major stronghold in the Gaza Strip. Reacting to Netanyahu, the UN's humanitarian chief Martin Griffiths said that a ground operation by Israeli troops in the southern Gaza city of Rafah would be a tragedy beyond words. Washington has joined calls on Israel from other countries and humanitarian organizations to spare the city. They fear that an army incursion would lead to massive civilian casualties.
Look, our views on Rafah, I think, are very well known. The president's been very clear about it. I've been clear about it and repeated it as recently as yesterday. Where our focus is right now, along with the humanitarian effort, our focus right now is on getting a ceasefire and hostages home.
According to State Department Deputy Spokesperson Vedant Patel, the United States has not seen a credible Israeli plan for a military operation in the southern Gaza city of Rafah that would address its concerns.
Continues to be the case that we have not seen a credible plan that would address the varying areas of concerns that you've heard me talk about a number of times from up here and others, primarily the ability to address the serious humanitarian concerns surrounding.
On the other hand, French Foreign Minister has told Netanyahu that an Israeli offensive in Rafah is a bad idea and will not resolve anything in the country's fight against Hamas. France hopes for peace, prosperity and de-escalation in Gaza.
France is not abandoning Israel. It is a friend of Israel. We've had a number of political discussions over the last 3 days since I started my tour in Lebanon. I stopped off in Riyadh to have a number of political discussions over the next 48 hours with the Israeli authorities.